Silence! It's time! It's time! It's
time for another episode of the Drunk Dash Nerds podcast.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Sit back and get back and get back and get grab a six-pack, sit back and get back and get back and get grab a six-pack, sit back and get back and get back and get grab a six-pack.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 351 of the Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. I'm your host as always, I'm Tyler, and joining me with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Tyler. I'll tell you what, man. It's been a while, but at the same time, I feel ready to go.
Yeah. Samesies.
It's been like that sort of time where it's like I've been getting a lot more energy than normal, and I'm not too sure whether it's springtime or it's like maybe a new motivational thing, but it's like I feel like I want to get a whole hell of a lot of things done in like a short amount of time, and it's kind of like a Energizer Bunny effect where it's like I have periods to where, okay, I want to have my relaxing period, and then all of a sudden when I get like a new game or I get like some bits of goals going, it's like I just want to get everything done, have my ducks in a row. So, but other than that, I've been doing fine. Picked up a few things gaming-wise. Got a new controller, purple one.
So sexy. He showed me before we started recording.
Oh my gosh, though. Yeah, it is pretty sexy. And that's the exact same thought I had when I was like, oh, wow, this is going to look sexy right here. And it's like, all of a sudden, I picked up two games, too. I picked up the Uncharted, The Lost Legacy.
Nice. And
I picked up Red Dead Redemption 2. So, both of those games I want to try out. But other than that, though, been kind of the same thing. Work, this, that. How about you, Tyler?
I feel you there, where it's like we're kind of in a weird time right now, weather-wise here as well, where it's like last week it was spring, and then like all of a sudden over the weekend it was like negative 20 out for like 2 days, and then it's like now it's back in like the 30s and 40s again. And I don't know, like last night we had like some like freezing rain, and it kind of got a little slick, and now it's like nice out again today. I don't understand what the hell's going on, Gables. It's mid-February. This is supposed to be like the worst time of the year for like weather. Yeah, it's been nice. I feel like it's gonna be like that. We're gonna have like a mix of like spring is coming, and no, actually it's fucking winter, assholes. Till like mid-April. I feel like that's what's gonna happen. But yeah, I'm with you. Like I don't know what to do. Like I don't know, like, because normally when it's wintertime I just hibernate. I don't want to go outside ever. Yeah. And it's like I don't like. Do I go outside and like take the dogs for a walk? And I'm like, all right, it feels good. And you get like halfway down the street, you get like halfway down, you're 30 yards away from the door, and all of a sudden snowstorm hits. It's like, what the fuck is going on? It's weird. So I'm like hibernating beneath the blankets, and look outside, and it's fucking, the snow is melting and birds are chirping. I'm like, God damn it, what do I do? Yeah, but it's funny. I was sitting there like talking, like, oh yeah, I went to the I was telling Gables for the podcast. I'm like, yeah, Courtney gave me $100 for Valentine's Day and stuff. Told me to go to GameStop and go crazy. So I bought some some PlayStation bucks and some Nintendo bucks. And then when I was there, I'm like, oh shit, they had a President's Day sale. And I'm like, yeah, they had Joy-Cons for $40. The Joy-Con set for $40. I bought the blue and the red. I bought a new like little Joy-Con, the little controller thing you slide them into. What else did I say? And they had like the third-party wireless controllers for Switch on sale, and I bought that for $25. I'm like, oh yeah, it's really cool. And he showed me that goddamn beautiful purple PS4 controller. I'm like, you son of a bitch. It's like, I'm like, look at my penis, Gables. And he's like, look at this penis. And just whomp on the table. Every single time.
Hashtag anime penis. Anyway.
I'm gonna make that the title again. It's gonna be like the anime porn. That one time I made the episode.
Oh my god.
The anime.
I kid you not, Tyler. When you did that, I checked upon YouTube, our page, and I checked upon the video, the views of that. That was fucking funny. There was like over 100 views.
Yeah. Yeah, like we don't brag. We don't like, our YouTube views are like, it's less than 10.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of views. Like pretty much all of our downloads come from like Facebook and like people like clicking the link on Facebook and Twitter and stuff, because I can see that. And I'm like.
Yeah, and even like through like things like Libsyn and like iTunes as well. I mean, we appreciate all you guys for going through and taking forth the effort to listen to us whenever we go through and record and like upload stuff. But
Yeah.
on our YouTube page, it's like, well, the algorithm stuff has pretty much screwed us over in that regard.
Yeah.
And we're just like, you know what? Let's just spice things up a little bit. And so...
Yeah. It wasn't even like a clickbait thing, because like
It wasn't.
if I want to, like, I can make thumbnails if I had to. I can, if we wanted to record live and make it like an actual like camera view, we could probably do it.
Probably.
Just I don't want, it's a lot of shit we don't really want to do or anything like that. And it was just like, it was just funny. I go in and look at it like 3 days later, and I'm like, what the fuck? What the hell's going on? What was it, video game anime porn, or I can't remember what the title was. It was bad.
My
It was
gosh.
bad. So I'm gonna make this one hashtag anime penis, and we're gonna blow out anime porn for sure. It's like one of the most downloaded episodes ever. It's fucking nuts.
My God.
It's fucking weird. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm doing okay. It's the same old, working, blah blah, and all that fun jazz. It's Tuesday the 18th as we're recording this, so it's been a couple weeks since we sat down and recorded. Last time we recorded a couple weeks ago, we did like a 3-hour session. So before we figured, we said we're gonna do the video, our game of the year for 2019. I know it's late, but you know, we did the game of the decade things in its place. So we figured we'll jump into this now. And it's not been a lot going on in the last couple weeks. We were kind of like spoiled, not really. I don't want to say spoiled. We were spoiled with news, but not a lot of it was good news, because everything great was pushed out longer. But I figured we just have a little quickie episode before we get into our game of the year show. So, like I said, not a lot of news, but I had a question for you, Gables.
And what's
I had
that?
a question for you. Where the fuck is my Nintendo Direct at? I know we got one announced today for goddamn Animal Crossing. It's 25 minutes, and I'm gonna watch it on Thursday. And maybe by the time this comes out, it's gonna be old news. By the time you're hearing this, anyways, it might be old news. But part of me is hoping that like there's gonna be like, oh, but there's one more thing, and it's gonna blow our goddamn minds. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I'm hopeful. Where the fuck's our Direct, Gables, and what's your feelings on the Animal Cross Direct? Are you excited?
Well, let's see. For one, I am excited about the Animal Crossing Direct, because I want to know a little bit more about the details of the game before it initially does release next month. I am a fan of Animal Crossing, and so are some of my friends.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the other Nintendo games, in terms of the Nintendo Direct stuff, we have been seeing a whole bunch of leaks in regards to third-party stuff, collection things, potentially maybe BioShock collection, like XCOM stuff or whatever. But at the same time, I kind of have the full suspicion is we're probably going to get another Nintendo Direct possibly after the Animal Crossing one, maybe in another week or two. Who knows?
Yeah.
That's what I'm guessing, but at the same point, what Nintendo's doing right now is just advertising their next main release game, and that's Animal Crossing. But no, don't be surprised if we don't hear like another Nintendo Direct maybe until like March. Like maybe early March, you know? Because it's like they do have a subsequent amount of games that they plan to release, but in terms of the, like, say during the whole springtime and maybe the rest of that time up until summer, we know next to nothing.
Yeah, well, we know like No More Heroes, the Pokemon DLC.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Mystery Dungeon Pokemon game coming out at the beginning of March.
Yep.
Animal Crossing, and that's really about it. So,
Yeah.
and now there's talks that there's a lot of talks that Nintendo want to release Breath of the Wild 2 or whatever it's gonna be called for the holiday this year, but now it's sound like it's gonna be a spring 2021 game. So it's like, what the hell is gonna happen the rest of the year? So,
They gotta have some major game for the holiday.
yeah, I feel like, I mean, I don't know, like a lot of people keep saying like Metroid Prime 4, like that was a big talk last year. Oh, Metroid Prime 4 is gonna be a big holiday game. Where like that game was just rebooted like a year and a half ago.
It was a year and a half. They just rebooted that game, and quite honestly, in terms of game development wise, if they want to get that Metroid game right and not have like another Other M situation, I think it's a good chance that we're not going to see any rhyme or any type of footage of that game for the rest of this year.
Yeah.
I would probably see a Metroid Prime trilogy, which more than likely that's probably going to end up happening. That, or possibly, if rumors are correct, and they possibly could be, maybe a Super Metroid remade. You never know.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You know, because look at what Nintendo has been doing. Last year, Link's Awakening. That came out of left field, to say the least, for old school Nintendo fans.
Yeah, that been rumored for. There've been rumors that it was a 3DS game. That was the one shock though. Was everybody thought it was a 3DS game for a couple of years, and then the big shock was it was actually a Switch game.
Yeah, and it's some similar rumors are coming out possibly of a remastered of Super Metroid, which, you know what, I'd be openly happy with it. I would love for them to either release something Metroid related that's not Federation Force or Other M or whatever the fuck.
Federation Force 2.
Oh my god. You know how that would it would be absolutely one of the most downvoted fucking trailers.
Be like a farting in church.
Oh, that similar effect, but with a Nintendo fan. And that's just with Nintendo fans present, you know, the Church of Nintendo, and all of a sudden you just let loose that wet fart that is Federation Force 2, and all of a sudden you just have everybody with their pitchforks and their Mario hats.
Deservedly so.
But yeah, we're probably not going to see another Nintendo Direct until maybe like another couple of weeks from now. Maybe early March, but that's what I would guess.
Yeah. No, I'm starting to think that's true. That would probably be the case. And it's, I mean, they maybe don't really have to, because you like, someone made I was like, you know, kind of like listen, because it's like, where it's the longest stretch we've gone since they made Directs a thing. Without an actual, like, not, that wasn't like an exclusive game Direct, that we've gone without, like a Nintendo Direct. So it's been like 170 days, I think, or so.
Yeah.
So that's over 4 months. Which is crazy to think that it feels like we go longer without them, or it felt like, you know, going 3-4 months without Directs was kind of a normal thing. Like, didn't realize we get one usually almost every couple months, which is crazy to think. I'm surprised we even got like a mini one. I know we got like the Pokemon thing, but you know, I don't know. It's been kind of weird. Like, they've been hard to predict. They've always been hard to predict, but even more so this generation, it's been hard to predict what the hell they're gonna do. I don't know. I'm just hopeful. You know, I'm looking. It's kind of fun and scary at the same time. Like, when you don't know a lot. Like like we talked about before. Like, this whole year is kind of like, we were just looking at like the video game release schedule before we started recording, and I was just like, fucking March is crazy, April's crazy, May's got a few things, and then after that, it's just like, it's literally like, we know Cyberpunk and the Avengers game in September, and that's it. Like, there's literally like
summer
5 things on the rest of that for the rest of the year on the list with dates, and that's all we have. Like, I mean, I know like there's like Halo Infinite is a launch game, but I mean, like, for Xbox Series X, but it's like, it's kind of, it's a scary, and like I said, scary and fun, because it's like, it's fun because your imagination goes wild. Like, what the, man, we can, like, anything's in play right now. But also it's scary. Like, what if there's like nothing? Like, because, you know, last year was kind of a down year for gaming, but it's like, it's kind of to be expected when you're kind of going into the new generation. Everybody's kind of reloading. Like, everybody's like 2016, 17, 18, we were spoiled with games. Absolutely spoiled. And 19, you know, was kind of like a reload year, kind of like how 2013 and 14 were to a certain extent. Like, 13 we had a few great games, but it was like 14 was a pretty down year as well, when everybody was like, it's the end of the generation game / we're just porting it over to the new consoles. And I think we're kind of in that stage again, where everybody's holding their cards close to the vest. And yeah, it's a fun, scary time right now for gaming. But that kind of brings me you know, to our next little topic. We already talked about, like, 2020 is kind of a mystery, but what are the games that we know that have 2020 release dates you're looking forward to? Like, your most anticipated games for this year?
All right. So, from what I know, the things that I'm really looking forward to is, one, Doom Eternal. That's definitely one of the games that I'm looking forward to playing. Another is Animal Crossing, which, yeah, I just went into a little bit about that. But other than those two, I have Final Fantasy VII Remake, which, hell, it's 3 days before my birthday. It's one of those games and stuff where it looks like I'm going to be getting into, despite not playing through and beating the original, which I've had for quite a long time now. Let's see. Other than that, for concrete-wise, Persona 5 Royal. Another RPG, but at the same time, whenever Atlas does a remaster or, like, a subsequential, like, best of version of a Persona game, they usually add in a whole bunch of good content. So, for example, you had Persona 3, and then you had, like, the Persona 3 Fest, which just basically had additional gameplay, additional characters in that. Same thing with Persona 4, when they went from Persona 4 to Persona 4 Golden. for the Vita in that regards. So for Persona 5 Royal, there's definitely some new characters, new things that I want to look forward to and want to play and stuff. So that's definitely probably the last game that I know of right now that I want to play, despite owning the original. How about you, Tyler?
Yeah. I got quite, but the Persona 5 Royal, that's not coming to Switch, is it? It's only
to be perfectly
it's PS4
honest,
only, isn't it?
It's PS4 only, but most recently, in terms of like the PR or something for, I think it's the US version of Atlas, they said yesterday in regards to, hey, if you want Persona 5 on Switch or Persona on Switch, just talk loudly or something on it, just spread the word, blah, blah, blah. And that's why Twitter had one of the most trending topics yesterday of break Persona free, which basically means they want the Persona games on Switch. Yeah. They're fantastic games.
This is what I'm confused. So what's the Persona game that is coming to Switch?
Scramble.
Persona
okay. 5 Scramble.
Is that like the fighting game?
No. That's something completely different, Tyler. What you're thinking of is like, oh my gosh. There are 2 Persona fighting games that are on PS3 and Xbox 360. But I forget the entire names of like the sequel, but I think Persona 4 Arena was one of them. I played through that on PS3. All characters, this and that. Great story mode. Actually, the story mode and the combat was some of the best things about that game. Oh. But yeah, that's something subsidiary. And what the Switch has is Persona 5 Scramble, which kind of, honestly, it's sort of a continuation of the Persona 5 story, from what I understand, but I don't know exactly what the gameplay or what the specifics are.
Looks like a hack and slash. I'm looking up screenshots right now. Looks like a hack and slash kind of game.
Oh, another
like a third-person hack and slash. I see. It looks like that's what it looks like.
Kind of like a Dynasty Warriors, maybe.
Yeah, exactly like that actually. Because like all the screenshots are in Japanese, but.
Well, hell, I'd be into that. I have like Fire Emblem Warriors and freaking. Oh, that's a good game. Freaking Hyrule Warriors and stuff.
Oh,
it's
even
like
better game.
I know.
It's just good games.
But what are the games you looking forward to, man?
So like I said, it's kind of like there's not like a lot of like there's a couple top end games, and they'll obviously Doom Eternal March 20th is big for me. Last of Us Part 2 on May 29th. The 2 big ones for me, probably for what we know right now, probably 1 and 2 for Game of the Year already for 2020 for me. But kind of the rest of the games looking forward to is I was telling you before the show, like I just started replaying Ori in the Blind Forest. I'm just like I want to give it a second chance, play through it. It's on. I already own it, but the definitive edition I don't own that one. It's on Game Pass, so I downloaded it. I'm still in the prologue, so want to give it a second chance. But I was kind of like I saw some videos for Will-O-Wisp, and I was like, oh man, like that game looks beautiful. That looks like my kind of game. So I want to give that a second shot. So I'm tentatively looking forward to Will-O-Wisp on March 11th. But really after, like, there's not a lot coming from the beginning of this year to March 20th. There's nothing really till Doom. I pre-ordered that Predator's Hunting Grounds, I believe is what's called, on PS4. Like it's basically the Friday 13th game, but with Predator, and it looks pretty awesome, and people will say pretty good things. It's only $40, so I went ahead and pre-ordered that. I'm looking forward to playing that. And hopefully we can get the Talk Ship guys to get that, because I had a blast playing Friday 13th with them, especially like Extra Life a couple years ago and stuff.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we had a blast playing with the guys at Talking Ship.
Yeah, there's some of my most fun memories of this generation playing Friday 13th. Then Justin hopped in late and played with me too, like that year or two.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that game was great. So I don't know if it'd be as fun, because some of the fun of the Friday 13th game is the jankiness of it. And this Predator game actually looks like a smooth, well-made game. So who knows if it'd be as fun, oddly enough.
Who knows, man?
A kind of a game that's under the radar, surprisingly. It's a big IP, but it's a side game. So it's been shown off the last couple E3s for Xbox, but hasn't been a lot of buzz around it. But it's called Gears Tactics. It's a Gears of War game, but it's like in the style of XCOM. And if you've listened to the show for a long time, a lot of people know I love that style, like XCOM style games, but I don't like XCOM because it's too deep. I don't like the It's more. I enjoy the gameplay parts of it. I just hate
Right.
the side parts of it in between the game where you're like all the management and all that shit. I don't like it. So like there was the SteamWorld Heist was amazing. I played that, beat the shit out of that on 3DS, but we played it again on PS4. And there was the Mario and Luigi's Mario and Rabbids Battle Kingdom was my second favorite game of 2017. Oddly enough, it's still funny when I think about that. Like I love that style of game. I get really hooked on it. I love the strategy of it. So, and I love Gears. So I'm really excited about that. It's gonna be a Game Pass game. So why the fuck not play it? Like I said, I already said Last of Us. Another game. I know it's probably gonna be bad, but I gotta play it because it's the first time we're ever getting one. Fast and Furious Crossroads. It's coming this May. I already pre-ordered that one as well. The only thing that sucks about the game is the fact that it's $60. I feel like the game should not be full price, but I'm hopeful that's gonna be good. There's no release date yet. It's just May. And then the last one, I already pre-ordered this one, Cyberpunk 2077, September 17th. Really, really excited about that game. That game looks like it could be amazing. I'm someone that tried to get into like the Witcher games, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just that kind of like there's always like exceptions to the rules of like, but I don't really like the medieval kind of feeling. Like when I was a kid, I loved like those RPGs, but growing up, I kind of like I don't know. It wears on me after a while. Like there's exceptions, obviously, like Lord of the Rings, shit like that. I still Game of Thrones, I love those. But Dragon Age, I love like the first Dragon Age, I love that. But I don't know, seeing them go into a open world, I love their style, I love what they do. I love their stories they do. So I'm curious to see what they do with Cyberpunk. That'd be pretty cool. But that's pretty much what I'm looking forward to. Like I said, I already talked about like 2020 is pretty barren. We don't know a lot.
Yep.
I don't know. Like before we get out of here to do our game of the year podcast, is there anything we've been playing the last couple of weeks?
Actually, there have been plenty, but
Okay.
for the sake of our time and stuff, I'm just going to go over a little bit of Cliff Notes thing.
Okay.
One, I've been playing a game that I downloaded on eShop on my Switch called Night Slasher.
Oh, okay.
Well, Night Slashers is a old school Data East arcade game that they had on sale for about $2. I picked that up alongside of a couple other games on the eShop, like Joe and Mac, the arcade thing, and like a couple other games I'll get into probably later down the line. But Night Slasher is sort of like one of those beat 'em up games. It's kind of like one of the style where they were like arcade suckers, where it's like the quarter suckers and stuff, where the game's difficulty was purely so that you could spend enough quarters and stuff like that in order to spend the game.
Yeah.
In order to beat the game. So it's like, it's one of those types where you have a choice of 3 different characters. You get to face all sorts of like werewolves, zombies, vampires. It's a perfect type of game and stuff for Halloween, quintessentially. And man, I'll tell you what, one of the biggest draws of this game, it's not just the combat or the character stuff, but it's the gore, the amount of gore inside this 2D sprite anime thing from like the 90s. You literally have like zombies that are exploding and like friggin' organs and everything else, or like entrails and this and that. I'm like thinking, holy shit. This game is so fucking gorely detailed in terms of the 2D sprites and this and that. That's just one of those. It kind of just took me by surprise, kind of the shock factor a little bit. It's like, whoa, okay, this dude's head exploded, or this dude's thing just went through and did this and that. But I have played through the main arcade of it twice with 2 out of the 3 characters. And one is like this dude that's like has blonde hair and stuff, has these cybernetic arms, right? But the other one is sort of like a Chinese acrobatic like lady who has a couple different types of like special moves. Like one is just like this like a phoenix attack where it just basically engulfs the entire screen in like flames and stuff, and like a picture of a phoenix or something. And the other one is like sort of this airstrike where it's kind of like when you're in the air and press the special button, lightning just rains down like all the screen. It's pretty much a screen nuke, is what I'm just saying. It is. Quintessentially, the special moves in this game are screen nukes. You get
It's like Street Rage 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it would be a 2D fighting game without some form of a screen nuke.
Yeah.
But what's hilarious about that is you can get like groups of enemies, like about, God, I want to say about 5 to about 10 of them, and then all of a sudden you do that, and sometimes it kills them in one blow. But the game's length isn't too long. It's divided up into around 7 stages, I want to say. Yeah, roughly around 7 stages. They last you probably like around 20 to 30 minutes. Because this is like one of those old school kind of arcade games and stuff, they reworked it to where you can actually push one of the shoulder buttons and it actually inserts coins inside of it. So you can actually go through, put like about maybe 20, 30 coins and stuff. And how the lives work is basically, if you run out of all 3 lives and stuff, and like get a game over or something like that, that counts as 1 credit. I kind of like the way that works. Because if they had done it for every time you died, oh my god, that would run out so quick for terms of credits. Because they have that same type of feature for the King of Fighters 98, another game I had been playing on the Switch, where you do that, and it essentially sort of works the same way. Only every time you lose a fight and stuff, you actually lose 1 credit, so that's kind of different than what Night Slashers is doing. But overall, the quality of the game's alright and stuff. I probably want to go over it maybe one more time for the last one, which is a Vampire Hunter, ironically. But I probably am going to be finished with it as soon as I go through the final playthrough. But another game that I have been playing a bit of Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Nice.
I started it a couple days ago. I am about around halfway through the game. I checked the chapters, and there's only like about maybe 9 chapters in this game in all.
Yeah, it's pretty short.
I can understand why it was like $20 initially when they came out with it. So far, so good. The HDR stuff from the get-go, I didn't know this thing had like HDR type of functionality of it. And
oh, yeah.
And what's kind of funny, when that was enabled and I was playing through the initial opening cutscene where you're pretty much like at this little stand and stuff like that talking with this little girl, I see Chloe, right? She's all dressed up, you know, like in this hood, this garb and everything else. And all of a sudden, I don't know how this happened, but there was a glitch that happened where she was going to be walking over, right? But all of a sudden, I see her all of a sudden starting moving by herself, like towards the front of the screen, you know, kind of like a slide forward. Like suddenly, I'm like, what the fuck is this? So quintessentially, it's almost kind of like the effect where you see like something coming towards the screen or something like that, just jarringly, like just super quick. I think I have it recorded on my PlayStation. If I actually get it uploaded, so if I can show you what I mean. But that happened. But other than that, there hasn't been any type of glitches. The unlocking mechanic, I'm not really much of a fan of because it kind of detracts from the combat a bit. I mean, I can understand maybe a little bit of pressure while you're in the midst of like one of those firefights or whatsoever, but I kind of feel like it's out of place. I mean, I can understand because Chloe's a thief and this and that, but it kind of breaks up the action in a way where I kind of don't like. But I technically don't have to do that if I don't want to. But there's some bits of the game where you're kind of required to crack open some cases, get some weapons, and do whatever. But combat is still good. It's still Uncharted, which is a good thing, obviously. But yeah, so far so good. The story's okay. Gameplay's fine. Getting those stealth kills are still super satisfying, especially when you take down like about 5 to 10 like armed thugs or something like that, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, all clear. I'm like, whoa, I've actually felt like a badass doing that. Okay, other than that, I have been playing a game that I've been playing off and on for the past couple of years, and that's Dead by Daylight. Got back to playing Dead by Daylight. I've been doing it now kind of fairly consistent over the past week or two. I wanted to get back in it because I want to have something to play on my new computer that I'm using here. And quintessentially, I downloaded Steam, I got Dead by Daylight thing, all the patches all worked out, and I've just been making some bits of progress. I already have the character that I started playing the game with at level 50. If I choose to, I could go ahead and have her be prestiged, so that way it resets her stats and resets her things and this and that. But instead of doing that, I'm going on to another survivor, trying to get all the blood web, like perks and offerings and everything else for something else. My main plan is I want to just play this game in bits of chunks. Like, I limit myself to maybe to about 4 or 5 matches or something like that per night. And I just want to have like a good solid maybe half an hour to an hour at most playing this game, get a little bit of chunks, a bit of progress as like a survivor, or if I, depending upon like what type of dailies there are, I want to try to maybe switch it up, maybe be a killer and stuff, and then just earn a bit of blood points to do stuff. What I'm basically saying is I'm trying to make goals, and I am accomplishing goals little by little. I'm not trying to be like hyper competitive with it, or oh hey, I want to get this every single time, or this or that. Nah. I'm basically playing it the way I want to play it, where I'm going to go ahead, maybe win a couple matches, but I don't really give a shit if, say, people escape or if I get caught. I care if I make progress and have fun doing it, which for the most part have been succeeding. I have actually went through an entire match just recently where, I kid you not, everyone else in my party got killed. I had like one generator left. I'm facing off against this new killer, which is called the Omni, or the Oni, which is this gigantic, like, samurai-looking thing with a big old red mask. And so what I initially did is I went to the center thing right after the last survivor or something, like, died on the hook. And I'm inside this, like, little hut and stuff in the center of the map. All of a sudden I hear something, this, like, creaking thing, like something, like, opened up. I looked outside. He's like, well, there's got to be a hatch somewhere, right? And I look, and there's the fucking hatch. Not even 10 seconds after the last survivor dies, I find the hatch. And I jump in it, and I escape, and I'm like, well, I couldn't have played that perfectly. Because I knew, and here's the thing about it, Tyler, it's like, when you get down to just yourself, if there's like a specific amount of generators on, a hatch will appear. Now, where it's going to be centered at sometimes will be randomly generated. But there are some maps that have a dedicated spot for a hatch. Now, if you have something called a key, it can actually unlock the hatch without having to go through and get the, without having to wait for a specific condition to happen. But they're not very useful if you know for a fact that you're not going to be able to use it quite efficiently, which it's really random. I don't like using keys. I just like going through regularly, and if I happen to get a hatch, I'll do it. But, yeah, I've been playing a little bit of this killer called the Huntress. She's very fun. She has like tossable hatchets, and she has this sort of a perk and stuff to where it's like a hex sort of totem and stuff to where it actually decreases the amount of success rate that a survivor gets for like doing shit like skill points and stuff. It just kind of adds on little bits of like compound stuff, the more type of perks and stuff you get with the killers in general. But other than that, though, that's pretty much what I have been playing. How about you?
So I've only played a few games. Like I said, I jumped to the Ori. I'm kind of in that, like that still in between phase. Just waiting for the next big thing to come out. Doom. But I did finish After Party. I enjoyed that quite a bit. I liked it. I mean, like I talked about the last time we recorded, is that it was funny and it was charming. The characters were great. But I liked how like the ending. So like the people, just for a refresher, these two college kids that are celebrating the college graduation, they end up in hell. They don't know what happened. They're all sudden, but they're in hell. And like the writing is super well done. It's fantastic. It's funny. Laughing. I didn't go more than 10 minutes out. Like at least a chuckle. But I liked how like they kind of like get deeper into like, it's hell. It's kind of funny, but like they make it like. They get like a little deeper where like they get a little serious about it. Like the backstory, like there's actually some depth to the story where it's not just like some basic, like you see like a lot of comedies. There's the funny guy, there's the screw up, there's the straight guy, things like that. Like they actually like get into like in depth with like some of the characters, like with Satan and some of like his friends he has around, and it deals with like a lot. Where like so basically like hell is just a party. It's like a party place. Everybody just all they do is drink. It's just drinking all the time. And his party, he has a nonstop party at his like giant mansion he essentially has in hell, and like it just gets deep. Like I guess some spoilers for the end a little bit, but it's been out for a little while now. But like it gets to the end, like so you do all this shit to like so you can even like basically you have to outdrink Satan. To like his deal is if you can outdrink me, then I'll let you live. I'll let you go back. To Earth, and you can live, and you do all this shit to like even prove that you're worth facing him, and you get to the end there, like there's a lot of like the story built to it, but like it kind of gets like serious where like it talks about like alcoholism. And like, and like it does a lot. Like it gets deep. Like this whole game is about joking around, getting drunk, and like you can drink certain drinks, and like that tells you like this drink here will like kind of make you like flirty. This drink here will make you an asshole. This drink here will kind of like you don't really care what you'll say what you want. Like you can say what you want. So like when you go to talk to people, you always have two options to say. There's like be the nice guy or kind of like a little passive aggressive, and then if you're drunk enough. You can drink whenever your character's not talking. You can just drink, and you go up to the bar and you pick these drinks you want. And if you drink this, like you're talking to there's a boy and a girl character, and if you're the guy character, and you talk to a girl and you drink the flirty drink, there's a third option that pops up you can pick. And you can be a little flirtatious. There's the one that makes you like you could talk. There's one that makes you talk like a sailor, like a pirate. Like there's some fun ones and there's fun things to do with it. And the whole game is like it's kind of funny and charming and shit like that. And then you get to the end there, and it's like it kind of makes you like we're trying to like, so it turns into like what's it called when you have a intervention. So like it turns into like you go to finally have a drink off with Satan, and then like all his friends show up, and like this is an intervention, and you have to decide like either I can stay in hell and help him stop drinking, or I can choose to still face him in this competition, and you can lose the competition still. Like it's a game like your narratives do affect what happens. Like there's whole sections of the game that you can miss out on, and so it kind of got interesting in like how you deal with like okay, there's like, do I want to help Satan better himself, like and become like stop drinking and like help these guys, or do I want to be selfish in a sense and like go back to being alive again, like or potentially like you could, like I said, you could still lose the final game. And it was kind of fun how it jumped to that and delved into that. Like I thought that was really well done. And it's not a very long game. It's like 5 hours. I want to say maybe 6 hours altogether. But it was fun. I really enjoyed it. Like I can't wait to see. Like they made Oxenfree before this. They used to work. They were I can't remember. Oh shit. I can't remember the name of the company off the developers off the top of my head. But they actually worked on the first season of Walking Dead Telltale. So then they broke off and did their own thing. So they got a good pedigree behind them. I've been on kind of a Game Pass kick with Xbox lately. That's where I played this game. That Sayonara Wild Heart, I believe it's called. It's coming next week. So I've been wanting to play that forever. So I'm excited about playing that. I also played a game I was planning on picking up on the Switch. It was a Switch exclusive until it recently came out on Game Pass. Creature in the Well. It's a top-down kind of like it's kind of like a hack and slash game. It's interesting where like you go into like rooms and like there's like it's like a pinball game. But you have like a sword and like you can like you have multiple weapons, like certain weapons like you can build up you can like build up 3 balls at once, and you hit these like targets and stuff. They can come back and hit you when they cause damage. You can die, and you have to use these to earn points to unlock doors and shit. Like it's a really well made fun game. Like you're a robot in like the sandstorm, and like you're going through like different like essentially like kind of dungeons, I guess. But it's a lot of fun. It's a top-down game. It's kind of got a unique style to it that I like a lot. I've only played it for like an hour or so. I enjoyed it, but not enough to like go back to it. But it's fun. It's cool. I would definitely say check it out at least because it's got some style to it. And then I played the last but not least I played the beta to Bleeding Edge. It's that new Ninja Theory game that's coming out in April. I love Ninja Theory. I love like Hellbound and stuff like that. I love a few other games they've made too. But they're really good at making like third person like action adventure games. And this is a big change for them. It's a kind of like an Overwatch style game, character based like third person.
Yes.
This one's third person, but like some characters have like guns and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's like more melee style. And I played a handful of games. The one game they had is like you have to like grab. It's like kind of almost like capture the flag, and like you have to grab these vials or something. I can't remember what they call them. You grab these vials and you got to take them back to these little areas, and you have to like stay there for like 20 seconds without dying to like return them, stuff like that. I don't know. It seemed like okay. I thought I'd just check it out because I like Ninja Theory and give it a shot. I enjoyed Overwatch, not so much by myself, but I enjoy playing Overwatch with friends. But I don't know. It just seems like another one of those kind of games. Like if you like Overwatch, things like that, like you'd probably enjoy this game. But
right.
I don't know. I just want to try it out, see what it was like. It was a beta for over the weekend. They're going to do another beta in a couple weeks for like this one's going to be, I think that one's for like a week. And then it's going to come out, I believe, at the end of April. So, or maybe it's into March. It's one of the two. But I played that. That's pretty much all I've been playing. So I think we're gonna wrap up the show there. Gables, I just thought of something actually.
What?
What if at the end of the Animal Crossing Direct, they announced DLC Pack 2, character number 1 for Smash Brothers, Tom fucking Nook.
Oh my god, that would be hilarious. That would be absolutely hilarious.
I won't lie, I'd be a little disappointed in that, but also it makes sense. Like, he needs to be in the game, but also I'd be a little disappointed. I just saw that as I was talking. I don't know why that popped in my head, but it just did.
Tom Nook with his sandbags and stuff like that, just going through and just like handing out mortgages, just going through his final smash, just like this raining bells down upon this mortgage debt.
That's his final smash, is like he's weighing you down in mortgage. Yeah.
He just goes through to somebody like Solid Snake, hands up a little piece of paper. Snake looks at it, it's like, oh, hey, I'm getting a house. And all of a sudden, it's like it just starts raining down. He's like, you were in debt. Yeah. Like, that's a nice credit score he got there. I'd be ashamed if it dropped 20 points. Oh, boy. I don't know. It just popped in my head for some reason. But, yeah, that'll wrap up the show for this inclusion. We're going to head on over and do our Game of the Year show after this. But thanks so much for listening. If you like us, go check us out on all the places: YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, Spotify, iTunes. We're all there. Drunk Dashers Podcast. Search it. You'll find us there. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, likes, whatever you got to do to 5 stars. Whatever you got to do, comments, whatever you got to do to help us get more views out there. So we really appreciate it if you do all that for us. Thank you guys so much for listening. I was Tyler. And I've been Colonel Gables. So until next time, everyone, have yourself a good week. And most importantly of all, thank you for listening to another fun-filled episode of the Drunk Nerds podcast.
Hey, Gable.
Yep.
Too sweet.
Too sweet, man.
Bye, guys. Excuse me. You too many beers there. Anyways, we're on iTunes now, so go on there, check us out, and if you like us, leave us a review, and we'll even shout you out. And Jack will send you his credit card number.